but some people were troopers and still came in to see me today and bundled up and went through the session.
You have people without power?
The whole building had no power.
Wow. That's
Yes.
scary.
I went to work at about 9 o'clock. It went out, and it didn't come on till like 3.
Yeah, that's weather kind of had us to for
Right? That was, I was like, dude, I was texting, you don't have to come in. No, I'm coming in. But it's cold. But that's okay. You have no light.
That means you must be good at what you do.
Yeah.
I am, thank you.
So there we go, because I'm saying if people come in and you, to let you not be good at what you do, I ain't going.
I have the best points.
So let's reschedule.
Do you charge up front, though? Now, before you charge me, you got my money, I'm coming.
That'll do it every
I was
time.
thinking about that one because I thought it was kind of, the service, but if you pay the money, all right. Think about it.
And
So, yeah,
what you
interesting day.
project for your weekend? How will your weekend be?
Quiet. So after I work a half a day on Saturdays too. So Saturday night is kind of like family night, and Sunday is really rest day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Quiet weekend.
Mhm.
All right. Miss Dorlene, tell me, how was your week? How will your weekend be?
This week was busy. Same as you. I just finished up. I do a girls group every other Friday for tweens. It's like a girls group. It's called Free Your Mind Friday. So they wear me out. So at 7 we finished up. And I rushed over here.
Not tween girls, they didn't wear you out, no.
They wear me out, but they're a lot of fun. They keep me active. But usually I work Saturdays too, and then usually I use Sundays and Mondays as my weekend. And I try to have one day of like being mindful.
Yeah.
Try to collect myself.
Yeah.
So it's always a peaceful weekend.
Perfect. GQ Smith, how was your week?
Oh, I was saying, what
You got 3 people that work with counseling, so we got you tonight. You need a session.
I was gonna say everything's good. Everything's great out there.
What?
I'm gonna leave it at that. I mean, it's. I work at a school. We switched over into a new building, so it's gonna be the new building blues. Gonna get some adjusting time, everything. But it's a grateful and a pleasurable opportunity, and so that's how it was. It was just one of those. It's like, all right, I got to go to work. Okay. Now I'm gonna tell you, it was something that's very interesting. Quick story. I was teaching class. I have a crown in my mouth. So those that don't know, one of my teeth are crown. I was just up there teaching, just going away, just to talking, just to writing. And this is what you do when you're writing a narrative. And my crown fell out while I was teaching. But in front of a bunch of 9th graders.
Oh Lord.
And I was like, they didn't see it. So I just kind of tried to swipe it up under my foot since I had big feet and everything. It's like, was that your tooth? I was like, no. It's a piece of gum. All while I was chewing gum. And then I had to use it as a teachable moment since we were talking about how to write a narrative, and this was a personal story. I was like, well, you know what, this is the best thing, the way to teach a narrative. So I was like, you know what? It was my crown. And I thought they didn't know I had played it off. You can laugh. I laughed on the inside. I was like, I know this is not do this on all this. And the crazy thing, I had a dentist appointment that next day. I was going to see the dentist the next day.
Wait one more day.
I was like, you can't wait now. One more day. I didn't come loose all week. I was in eating food, doing everything, and didn't come out. Decided on that while I was teaching class. Like, you want to do this on this day. I'm doing it. And so that's the highlight of my week. I made it a thing. I had to spend more money than I wanted to this week because I had to go to the dentist and get that fixed, but it ended up being cheaper because I found the crown, so all they had to do was put cement on it and call it the day. So that was whatever, but yeah, the weekend would be great because my crown is fixed, so now I can smile. Don't have to worry about my teeth coming out. So I'm like, people just knowing secrets about it. Nobody knew. I was like, no one needs to know this, but they all know, and so.
You told it.
No, they saw it. I mean, now people on the radio, yeah, but they saw it. I thought I played it out real good. They was like, nah, we saw you. I was like, oh, man, y'all saw me. I didn't tell me nothing. They was like, we were just going to keep going. You kept going. I was like, well, good. Keep going.
I ain't got nothing to top that. My week was boring compared to yours.
I try to forget it as much as possible. I thought about it again. I was like, maybe I do need a therapy session right now. It's like my tooth came out in front of my students.
How do you feel about that?
I felt again. I used it as a teachable. I used it as a teachable moment. I was like, this is a story I can say. That's like, is your most embarrassing story? No, it's not the most embarrassing. It's just one of the craziest ones. Like, how you teach a story about telling the story, and then the story happens while you try to teach a lesson on telling the story.
Perfect timing.
Exactly. So I just used it and went with it.
Yeah. And your weekend, you say?
Oh, it would be great. It's still gonna be some reflecting and some. I guess grieving is the right word for it. But we'll talk about that when we get to the other topic. But other than that, it's gonna be good. Just relax.
Yeah.
Relaxing.
Yeah.
What about you? How was yours? Weekend blue. You looking all spiffy today? Look at you with
All
the
blue.
with the stripes on and stuff. Go ahead.
This week has been pretty quiet as far as work-wise, but very eventful, I feel, for me. Starting a different journey of taking on some wonderful coaches and counselors and things like that. So
Okay.
diving head first into doing some positive things for myself. So that's always wonderful when you wake up excited about learning.
Oh yeah.
Wake up excited about learning about yourself, about spirituality, about other people. So this week has been good. This weekend will be awesome. My daughter recently turned 19. I have a 19-year-old something. I don't have nothing. Whew. Yeah. So my daughter turned 19. The cool thing about that is that at 19, she looks at me and she say, "Mommy, I want to hang out with you for my birthday." And when she says she want to do some, I say, "What do you want to do for your birthday?" She looked at me. She said, "Shenanigans." So, so this weekend after she gets off from work, I am gonna go indulge in some shenanigans with my daughter. And that's gonna be fun. I try to teach her how to, have fun and be safe and be ladylike and all of that stuff. So that's gonna be fun this weekend. But we are here. We usually have other people topics about this time of the show, but it's one topic that has been, that hit the hearts of a lot of people this week with the passing of an amazing basketball player, a legend, Kobe Bryant.
Oh yeah.
I'm not the biggest basketball fan, but I know who Kobe is.
Hey.
And one of the things that really kind of stood out to me about him outside of his talent was just how humble he seemed to be outside and off of the basketball court and dealing with his family and his girls. Outside of that, to hear of his passing with his daughter,
Yeah.
and then with 7 other people in such a traumatic way, has had the world just turned upside down. At least the social media world, and like you said, the each individual, and their grieving process. So this is just an opportunity for us to kind of put some of our own thoughts and things like that just out there about what has gone on. Any thoughts? Anything you want to share?
Well, when I kind of heard it, the first thing that, besides sadness and prayers that went out to all of the families, was, oddly enough, that I'm happy that they were not alone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, his daughter was not alone, that one of the parents was there, because I know as a parent, if that was ever to happen to me, I would want to be there with her.
Yeah.
And not have her be alone.
Yeah.
So that just gave me some comfort, because I felt like the two of them together were okay.
Yeah.
And same for the other families.
Yeah.
And for him, I just admired one, their relationship that he also had with his daughters, and how hard he worked. He was somebody that reminded me that he walked the walk. That he was a hard worker. He was there early in the morning. He was there late at night. He exceeded all kinds of training.
Yeah.
So to me, that was so impressive that he did that, and kind of that's one thing that I admire and hope to do is in my life that I walk the walk.
Yeah. Perfect. Anything you want to add?
Mine might be long-winded, but no, I mean, my show this week is dedicated to Kobe. I mean, it was crazy growing up. I mean, 1996 he walked into the league. Everybody was like, "Ooh, Michael Jordan like this and Michael Jordan." Now it's like, Michael Jordan's good. Who's this new guy? Who's this Kobe Bean Bryant? I was like, and I always enjoyed the Lakers, so the Lakers was my team. And so we came into the league, he just took over, and I have his rookie card, I have a poster. My first NBA game, I live in Georgia, so the Hawks is the team for this, but it don't matter. I was like, LA coming to town, I'm going to see Kobe. I don't care what's going on in the world, I'm going to see Kobe. He had no kids at the time, but then he started becoming a husband and a father. No matter what trials and tribulations went on, he was there for his children. Yeah. And so that what hits me as a man anyway. I was like, well, dang, I don't play basketball like that, but everything I try to do, the mama mentality is in there. I was like, if you coming for me, come on with it. Because he said it, and he was like, you want to be number one, come work with me. If you want to be number two, go work with somebody else. I was like, you know what? That's my attitude right here. I was like, that's it. That's how you do it. Right. And then for him just to love his kids, that's what I grew up on. My grandfather's love does my... You know, I like to say my brother's daddy, but my brother's daddy and my daddy loved us. So it was just like, it was all there. He had the qualities that stuck out to me as a man should be. You gonna mess up, but you still go to your job, do the best thing you can, and then you still take care of your family. No matter what goes on, you take care of your family. Yeah. So it just, I mean, it's sad, and I'm still kind of like not believing it. Yeah. It's kind of like, is this real? Because when I was out there with my mom just doing stuff. Pops down there, Kobe just died in a helicopter crash. Nah, you lying. Yeah. Thing that popped in my mind. I couldn't say that out loud. You know, my mind was like, nah, you lying. Walked into that, TV just flaring up. Here we go. It's like, what? And I see it there's like, what? No. Yeah. Then it was like, oh, his daughter's on the helicopter. What? His daughter, I was like, no. It was like, but he died, you know, and supposedly he was in the arms of his daughter. He was holding his daughter or whatever. I was like, you know what? That's the way to do it. Yeah. He even go out in style. So, I mean, he just carried the things that I care. I was like, yep, I'm just going to walk. Because I walked into work this week. I was like, oh, mama mentality. My student was like, well, I was like, listen, either going to get with it or get gone. I was like, what's wrong with you? You're very mean. I was like, no, this is just how it is. Y'all brand new to my class anyway. So, I mean, get with it or get gone. Yeah. But, I mean, I miss him. I love him. It's still going to be tough, but I'm just going to, like, take this weekend, go watch the game tonight. Be like, salute the Kobe. Yeah. Keep the spirit alive. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. Anything you want to add there, Miss Dorlene?
Yeah, I'm like you. I'm not a big sports fan, but I knew who Kobe was. Like, you can't like get around that. You know, in the '90s, I remember when he was. And I remember the stuff that came out in the '90s. I think before he got married and all that stuff. And he was a man of integrity. Like I can just the way that he handled that. And I think I was reading something this week that he spoke to that lady saying, you know, she felt like she was, you know, I don't know if you all remember that, but he like spoke to like her feeling like she was violated, and he was like, and I just want to say that I hear her and I understand that. Yeah. And I was like, wow. Yeah. I didn't, that was recently this week that I read that. So, and I just can see how much it impacts everybody. Yeah.
With the, like you say, you see how it impacts everybody. I hope, my hope in like watching and reading some of the online or even seeing some of the things that people have put out on the news and things like that, that in someone's passing that, we can appreciate the sadness of losing someone, but instead of just like kind of marinating in that sadness, that we also appreciate the life that he lived, his integrity, his love for his kids, his hard work and work ethic, and things like that. And then also the fact that, he died going to do something that he loved with the people that he loved, using, all of his resources and things like that to fuel and build his family and the things that he really loved and enjoyed. So I hope that we can pull ourselves out of the sadness and kind of look at and appreciate, the life that he did live. So
I tell people, people think that the death is the period. It's like the end of the story, and it's not. And so it kind of goes with what you're saying, like you look at the fullness,
Yeah.
right, and not just this one event.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And like you said, that's not the full story, you know?
This
It's
is not the full story.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate y'all having that discussion with me. I don't typically put on Facebook, things like that as far as mourning other people's, it's there's so much energy out there towards what's going on, and we all feel it. So I tend to not put things out there like that, but I appreciate the opportunity to have that conversation in this space. But we're here to talk about you guys, right?
Who you are.
We're trying to find out who you are, right? On the flyer that I put out, I said, let's talk about mental health and wellness, right? We have good people in here to talk about that today. But we're talking about it from the perspective of the people who do help people in this area. So I know, well, let's talk to Laurie real quick. Laurie, you're a clinical social worker.
Yes.
What does that mean?
That just means that I have a master's in social work,
Okay.
and a licensed clinical social worker is a license that you have by the state that you practice in that says you can have an independent practice because you have the education and skills and time necessary to do it alone.
Okay. Gotcha.
Or with a friend.
Or with a friend.
Yes. Or with
Yes.
a friend. I love it. And Dorlene, you are a licensed professional counselor.
Yeah.
Tell me, what does that mean?
Basically the same thing.
Basically the same thing.
Yeah. So, I have a master's degree in education counseling, and then the state says, oh, okay, you've done enough of whatever to say that you can go counsel people.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long have you guys been in your profession?
Oh man.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so I graduated in '97.
Oh, wow.
So
Quick math,
like,
quick
yes,
math.
right?
No.
I don't want to do quick math. It was part of it. I always said I can't wait to get to 20 years because I thought when I would get to 20 years that I'd really be like smart and mature and have it together and know. And now that I'm beyond that, it's like, okay, Laurie, I know where you needed 20 years because you're still like learning, right?
It's something new every year.
Yeah, when you graduate, oh, I can't wait.
Yeah.
So, yes, but it's like, okay, now I know that I don't know.
No,
And I'm learning,
exactly.
and I look forward to the learning part. But
Yeah.
yes,
What school did you go to?
Boston University.
Okay, I heard the accent in there. I was like, that's not Southern accent. I was like, where are you from? That's not from down here. You're not from down here. It was like, you're not from down here.
And later at night and weekends, you'll hear it more.
I hear that. When you first started talking, I didn't hear. You started talking.
Not on the radio.
I was like, wait a minute.
The more relaxed I am, the more the accent comes out.
Okay, I was like, wait a minute. That shit, I didn't hear that at first. Wait a minute.
We should have had her in here with Bill Cooper. We had a thick. He said he's from the South Boston.
Yeah, that's a special accent.
Yes, but Dorlene, how long have you been in your profession? And
I graduated in 2008,
mm-hmm.
so I'm also an artist. So my first degree is in drawing, and then I had a kid and had to feed her.
Yeah.
They like to eat.
Yeah, and I substitute taught too long, and I didn't want to do that, and so counseling was my next.
Yeah.
thing. So.
And where are you from?
St.
Dorlene?
Louis, Missouri.
St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay. So, what schools did you go to?
University of Missouri, St. Louis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I went to a lot, but that's the one
That you stick with, exactly.
Yeah,
I
that's the
understand.
one that I graduated from.
That's the one I'm
claiming.
claiming.
I was like, well, I got my degree from this one, so that's all
Yeah.
you need to know. I understand that. Boston, okay.
So Boston, St. Louis, what are some things that that kind of stick out about growing up from Boston, growing up in St. Louis?
Stick out. Well, I went to college in Boston, but I grew up in Fall River, which is about an hour south of Boston.
Okay.
Famous for Emeril Lagasse and Lizzie Borden.
Okay.
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 So it was very kind of a very quiet city growing up there. So I don't know. What else do I want to say about that?
Okay.
Necessarily, you just there, just live
It's
there.
just there. It used to be a
mill.
mill city, so
Okay.
once the mills closed down,
Yeah.
it kind of deteriorated.
Oh wow.
Then it's most factory cities, sadly, but yeah.
So
Yeah.
you kind of had to leave if you wanted to be employed. Although most of my family's still there, so I'm not quite sure what that means. Yes, I laughed. They didn't leave.
So why, when you went into college, and was going into college, was counseling, was that something that you wanted to do just going into college?
No, going into college. So I was the second person in my family. My brother went to college for a year. So I was the first one that actually went to college and completed college.
Mhm.
But I feel with college and kind of most of my life, I didn't go to college with the intent of getting a master's in social work.
Yeah.
I wanted to graduate with my bachelor's, and then I was working in a group home, and the two women that were there said, "Laurie, we're going for our master's degree in social work. Come on with us." And I was like, "Okay, whatever."
Yeah.
Didn't know what it was,
Yeah.
but I went to school with them.
Yay.
And so that's how my career in social work started. It was not
Gotcha.
intentional.
Gotcha. Dorlene, you say your initial, when you went to school, you say you got a degree in art. Why art? What made you choose that? And what kind of, outside of the, the physical needs to feed your baby, what kind of drew you towards counseling and helping people in that way?
Well, I was born an artist, so I think it chose me.
Mhm.
I didn't.
I got a
choose
high
it.
value for that one. Yes, I was saying, I was born. Yes, say that, say that
from,
again. Yes.
When I was a kid, I drew more than I talked.
No,
It was just something I did. My mother was in mental health for since I can remember. Special school district, mental health, state facilities, acute care state facilities. So I've been around it my whole life, and then I had a really good counselor, like a really, really good counselor, and I was like, okay, I think I can do this. Like, it's my whole family. I have a twin that's getting her PhD in social work. I have a sister that's a teacher, going to school to be a teacher. I have a niece that's a genetic counselor. So we're all in, we kind of all grew up, we all kind of gravitate towards that.
Yeah.
So,
Awesome.
Your sister sure she wants to be a teacher? She sure.
she said for like a year.
Okay. Yeah. She needs some convincing. I have to convince her. As an educator, I was like, you sure?
She's near 50, and she's like, I'm only doing that a year.
Okay.
She's going to do some other things.
Just try it out for a little bit.
Tell her to go sub first. She wanted experience. Tell her to be a long-term sub. She'd get the same experience.
Oh, that's why I didn't teach, yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, you want to be, people say, I want to major in education. You sure? Okay. Bless you. We need you.
You guys, we are going to take a quick break. We're halfway through the show. A quick break and play some, pay our bills, you know how they say. And then we'll be back. We'll take a quick break.
Sure did not
It's
hear
just
accent
about
first.
a
You
minute
started talking.
and
I
a
was
half.
like, where's she from? She didn't sound like that a minute ago. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
You hide it.
No, it just starts to change.
You don't try
I don't even think about it until people start looking at me like, "Where are you from?"
When I first met you, I was like, oh, yes, I could hear it. Like,
And maybe when you just introduce yourself, it just doesn't stick out as much. She's like, hi, I'm Laurie. And I was like, okay. Then you just start saying what, then when you start talking, I was like, you didn't sound like that a minute ago. You said Richmond Hill like you were from Richmond Hill. No, not really. But I was like, you just sound like you were from Boston either. I was like, what? Wait a minute, you're talking some kind of way that I don't know. Wait a minute. What foreign language are you speaking? Kind of like when I go up north, they're like, you're not
20
here.
seconds.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a bad thing.
Pull that mic a little bit closer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Just
can lean
lean
a
in.
little. Lean in.
Let me know when you got
3, 2, 1.
It's 5 o'clock. Woo, woo, woo.
You guys, you know what time it is. It is Friday o'clock. You guys are tuned in to Let's See Who My Friends Are. This is WRUU-LP Savannah, Georgia, 107.5 FM. WRUU.org. We are Savannah Sounding Community Radio with Global Show. You guys, we've been in here chit-chatting with Laurie and Dorlene, two counselors here in Savannah, and we were talking about, some of their schooling. We were talking about, what kind of pushed them into counseling. So what is it about helping others in this way that is fulfilling to you guys? What is it about counseling that says, that have you getting up every day, to basically step into, people's bad everything, right? They're not so great thoughts, they're not so great emotions, they're not so great behaviors, and to kind of step in there as a help. So,
Wow. Well, I think it's what you said about feeling like you've been born to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know why I went to, I think I followed them to the master's program, but every job I had after that, I feel like I was meant to do that job and learn what I learned from that job.
mm-hmm.
And that relationships and problem solving with people was just who I was, even as a kid. They call me Dear Abby Laurie.
Yeah.
And so I think just having the relationship where you could see real change
Yeah.
was just really beautiful.
Yeah.
And seeing people sometimes when they were at their lowest point, whether I worked in a homeless shelter or with teenagers in alternative schools, to see them make really real progress and do something with their life and say you had a little piece of it, not a lot, but
Yeah.
because it was in them.
Yeah.
But you kind of just fostered that and supported that.
Yeah.
There's not a nicer feeling, I think.
Yeah. Awesome.
And to get paid for it too.
Hey, I high five you on that. Yeah.
I'm gonna get paid for it.
I like it. Yes.
Yeah, I think I agree. I know that I really am just like I tell people a lot that I'm just really a vessel, and that when I'm even in sessions, like I move out the way, so my ego kind of shifts, and I become like a conduit for what they need, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I know that it's altruistic, right? So it's that feeling that you can only get by being of service to other people, and that's what they do. That's a healing. You can't drink it, smoke it, eat it.
Mm.
You can't get it any other way but of being of service, and it actually heals you.
Yeah.
So.
You tell you're an artist the way you said that. You can't get it any other way. You can't get it tangibly. You gotta get it through. I was like,
You
tell
can
that's
only get it through service, right?
That's how I am as an artist. Like, oh, ain't but one way to do it. Before we go, I will say shout out though. I didn't know that. I don't think I've seen outside of schools women in color that are counselors down here. Like, I think you all probably like these. I probably met some, but not many that I can remember. Like, so kudos to you all for being like women of color that's doing the thing down here and in the deep South, counseling and talking about mental health. And if I can ask, because some people don't know that or listening, I know, but some people, what is mental health? Like, not a clinical definition, but what's the basic like concept of mental health? Like, so people know to go to counseling and know to go to therapy. And a lot of times it don't have to be for anything bad. People just need to go to counseling or therapy just to talk and make sure to keep themselves on the up and up. So what is taking care of your mental health? So I can ask that question right now. As I'm jumping too far here, let me know. I'm just co-host. I don't want to overstep my boundaries.
Not at all. Go right in.
I think clinically, like we look at functioning, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if a person looks at their life and they're not functioning in areas where they're not going to work, or it's really, really a struggle to get to work, or they're isolating themselves from supports, or the typical things, you're not eating, or you're oversleeping, or you're overeating, that your relationships seem to be like in disarray, or you're arguing a lot, or so we look at functioning,
Okay.
and if and when a person first comes in, so initially we want to get them back to the quality of life that they wanted, they had, or they really would like to have.
Awesome.
And they get to define that, like that quality of life. I don't define that, right? So.
Yeah, 'cause I think there's been such a stigma just about going and seeking help outside of either family or yourself. So to be able to go and do that and have an objective opinion from somebody who's meant to be non-judgmental and really just support you to be the best that you can be, or what it is that you want to return to, is a kind of a nice luxury to have that for you. Who's your biggest cheerleader?
That's awesome.
Kind of nice.
I think about every day going to counsel, I'm like, thank y'all for what y'all do. I don't think I would definitely want to be there, like socially and spirit. Like like I said, you have to remove yourself and others. Something I'd be like, get your together. You can't say that. So it was like, you can't do that. You can't get your together. Come on, get life together. But sometimes what I want to do, but I was like, no. But it's great that you all do that. It's a wonderful thing. The crazy thing is, growing up, I don't like psychologists or psychiatry. Interesting fact about me that you didn't know, but now you know. I don't like psychology. Because I was like, don't mess with my mind. But then again, it was a thing of not knowing what it's there for. And I've met some rude counselors. I'm like, you know what, I ain't come to talk to you no more. Not because, you probably know what you're doing. I just don't like the way you're talking. I don't want to talk to you. I don't like what you say. I don't like what you say. I ain't talking to you no more. But, it's one of those things you don't know, especially when I was younger. Like, oh, maybe you should go see a counselor. I was like, sure, why not? I don't care. It's free. I was at college. I was like, you got free services, let's go. I went there and he was like, trash. I'm like, oh, you're wasting my money. I'm paying you, and now you're not even, no. So I'm not going anymore. But then I took a psychology class. I'm like, I like this. It got kind of interesting.
Yeah.
The teacher was dumb, but it was interesting. So I love you all now. There was a point I did not like you. I thought I don't like them.
Interesting phenomenon that I encounter when I'm working with clients, and I think it's also something that brought the three of us together, is that at some point in a client's awareness of their mental lack, or aware of their emotional whatever that they want to change, at some point a client starts looking to spirituality. One of the things that you guys have in common is that you also work not just with the mind or emotions, but also with the spiritual aspect, the spiritual healing part of dealing with clients. Briefly kind of tell about what your kind of your experience or your journey of going from studying, the book work and being a counselor on that end, and then also implementing spirituality into your practice, and how that is.
Okay. So, school kind of says separate out spirituality, religion from your practice. Unless you are, that was for me, sort of like a pastoral counselor, that was what you did, but you didn't bring it into sessions.
Gotcha.
So for a lot of years, I didn't even think about bringing it into session because I was also not there. Moving down to Georgia from Massachusetts, everybody asks you what church you go to.
Right. Where you attend? Exactly.
Right? And I was like, huh? I just moved here. I don't know. Well, about 8 months later, that wasn't working. Like, you've been staying there for 8 months, Laurie, and you obviously don't have a church because you'll be answering a question. Like, I don't know. I don't have one yet. I'm searching. So, several years, maybe about 5-6 years being in Georgia, I finally went to a church. For a long time, I purposely stayed away from church. Like other things, I was drawn to go and work for the military. So I worked at Hunter Air Force Base in behavioral health. And quickly I learned there that everything that I knew wasn't going to help. So just coming back from 2003 with nightmares and the anger and everything that they were, the losses and everything they were dealing with. So I remember one day in my office just saying, if I was sent here to do a job that I can't do, then I need help. and I kind of know that I yelled at God a little bit for needing help and felt that I wasn't getting it.
Yeah.
Well, then help came kind of quickly. And I think that that's what started me on my spiritual realization and journey, that I was old enough, mature enough, and could really see all the places that I was guided and helped and wasn't alone.
Yeah.
And it sort of just evolved over time from there, that it really has become a very spiritual practice, where people at some point have started to open up, even if they didn't in the beginning, to talk about spirituality or their anger or their feeling abandoned spiritually, and then the conversation changes.
Yeah.
So I started to see a real healing in people happen when they could connect the mental, emotional, and spiritual components. Healing happened.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
that's what I do now.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got a realization. I mean, and maybe that's the thing that a lot of counselors probably don't seek out. It's kind of like, I mean, you just worried about it. But anyway, yeah, you hit it on there. I ain't going to get into my soapbox about that. It's not about me.
And yourself, Dorlene, how do you help clients spiritually? What has been your journey and kind of because also, you know, and we didn't say that you put your art and your counseling together. So what has been that journey of kind of merging those things together, and then also, you know, being someone that is helping clients on a spiritual level? What has been that experience for you?
Well, as far as, I think when you asked me about being an artist, and I was like, well, I just came here like that. So I still am quite amazed when I look at some of my work. I was like, I didn't do that.
Yeah.
And before I even became a counselor, people were like, that's really good. And I'm like, well, it's really not me, right? And I would say, like, something else happens, like I go somewhere else and, you know, something else works through me.
Yeah.
And it'll be my subject matter, like stuff that I like, but so I always had that sense of spirit, like, you know, before I decided to become a counselor. I think you can't separate it out, and that's what school tried to do. And when you talk about the mind and the body, that is spirit, everything's spirit. So you can leave out the word,
Yeah.
but it's still that thing that we're talking about. And I think when people, I mean, if you go to my website, people come to me, they already know that I'm open to having those kind of conversations. In fact, we're going to have those kind of conversations. So I'm going to ask them how they use their sense of spirit. And so, and what is it to them, and describe it to me, and how do you rely on it in times of stress, and how do you rely on it in times of, you know, good times. And so they really, you know, whatever they come in with, it really is, they really drive their treatment.
Yeah.
Where I just meet them where they're at.
Yeah.
While you're doing it, shout out, go ahead and throw your website out there. Both of y'all throw the website out there, because we're working on it. I can't believe this time is going by this fast. Like, we literally have 17 minutes. So let's get y'all website, y'all business out there. We're going to talk about the events that's coming up. Cause we're going to have y'all back again, I guess, because this time is wrong. Right? Let's get the website, since you mentioned.
It did go by fast.
I told you.
Lean closer to the mic so people can hear you. Go
yes,
ahead and throw your
The
website.
website up here, it's in progress.
Okay.
You can find me on Psychology Today, but I'm in progress for another website.
Right, and so that's the easiest way to find counselors. And if people don't know, you know, you can go to psychologytoday.com and put in your zip code if you want to get somebody close to you. I think all three of us are on there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Were you on
can
there?
kind of read bios. Yeah.
I didn't even know. You like, ain't so bad. Y'all the whole.
So you can find other black therapists on
Okay. Can I go search black therapist and then pop up?
Our pictures are on
Yeah,
there.
you
looking
see
all
a picture.
pretty.
Right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I never knew that. So it's what again?
Psychologytoday.com.
Even if you typed in your Google feed counseling and your zip code, they're usually the first thing to pop up. Right.
That's all. Never knew it. Get opposite. We can't cuss on it. I'm gonna take it out of here. But hey, you know, that's awesome. That's awesome. So what is this event y'all got coming up?
Yes, so on February the 23rd,
So we're definitely gonna have y'all back
we
again. Before
have, we should do this back again. If you guys are available, we should do this again. We have something that I am very passionate about, and I hear as we kind of speak together, as we come together to do this event, it's about not just taking one modality in healing and saying, oh, you can go to this person and heal your life, you know, you can go to such and such and fix your life, because the truth is that we, like, for example, myself, I know hypnosis and hypnotherapy. I'm able to help people. However, I would go to Laurie, you know, and use her services. I do go to Laurie and use her services. You know what I mean? So there are different modalities, and one of the things that I know I'm passionate about is about merging these modalities, especially here in Savannah, where it seems like individual people are doing individual things, that we can bring these things together to create a space where people can come and work on their mind, work on, you know, their spirituality, work on things that they have going on within themselves, and do it from various angles and various ways. So we have come together and put together an event where the three of us will be using the gifts that we have, using the tools that we've learned and perfected over these years to service and to help attendees to really let go of some things, to really so let's talk about it in the order of, you know, how it is this event is going to go. It is a day-long event. We'll be there from 9 a.m. until 5 in the afternoon. The point is for you to come there and for you to leave there having identified some things that you want to change, let go of some things that you want to let go of, and also, you know, regain and restore some things. So, if
so
Dorlene?
my part is the recognition part. You know, identifying, and we're going to do an art activity to help that. So using like shape and color and form, because human beings think in symbols, right?
Oh, yeah.
Even letters are symbols, right? They come together, and so that our deeper parts of us can kind of come out when we give, you know, space for them to not only just use like work talking, when we can use our whole bodies. And so with me, we're going to work on identifying what we show to the world, the outside that we show, and who we are really on the inside, and just kind of seeing if those two things congruent, where we like, what we would like to change or heal. And so that'll be my part. It'll be fun. We like being a kid again.
All right.
And then I take what they have identified in that session, and the emotions attached to it, I have a technique that will release them. So if you have felt angry about something or have anxiety about something or worry, hopefully by the end of the process that I do, when you think about that same situation, it's not evoking those emotions anymore.
Okay.
So you're kind of free to just do differently.
Okay. Awesome.
The part that I do, you know, the fit hypnotist, you know. My portion of this is restore. You know, once we identify things that we want to let go of, once we let go of those things, then we're at a place of, okay, now what? Right? I've let go of this anger, I've let go of this anxiety, I've let go of this behavior or whatever, and then now what? What I do is, using the tool that I know, hypnosis, is help them to restore that. What are the habits you want to have now? Instead of being angry when you think of this thing, how can you improve? How can you still think of this thing? Because the truth is, that's what your mind does, right? It's not going to erase an event. So when you think of these things, what are the feelings that you want to have, so that you don't fall back on, you know, the thoughts that you had previously? How do you want your thoughts to be more positive in this particular area? Or, you know, what new thoughts do you want to have in this particular area? So using hypnosis and that relaxation, we can give the subconscious mind those positive thoughts that we want to have. So,
where's it going to be at? Do we have a location yet?
yes, we have a location.
Oh, y'all on the ball. y'all ready.
all the information for the event we will post. It will be on my Facebook page. I'll post it to let's see who my friends are. Facebook page and things like that, but the event will be at Ray Clark Hypnotherapy.
Okay.
Yes.
The space is limited.
Yes,
Very
space
limited.
is limited, very limited. We do want you guys to come out and experience, this whole thing. So we'll put all the information on the page. We'll put all the information on my Facebook page. Share it out there. I say if you know somebody, share it with them. Just knowledge, I say, is powerful. When you know that these things are available, when you know that psychology today is available, when you know that there is things out there available where you can come and address just various aspects and leave a space, having felt that shift within yourself. As someone who does hypnosis, and clients say to me, oh, I really did feel that shift. On the outside of the chair, it's like, I wonder if you know what you're talking about, right? But then, because I have not worked with Dorlene, but I've worked with Laurie, and I can consciously kind of feel and understand what that means, when someone say, I feel a shift in myself, between 2 minutes ago and, 2 minutes later, that's amazing. So, and like you say, to be a part of something like that is a great feeling to have. So
That's what's up. And you brought that up because my next question in my mind, you must be trying to read my mind.
Always. That's what I do.
Because my story, you said you haven't worked with her. I was like, well, what's the story of you? How did you all meet? Since you all doing this event, it's like, how did you all? Because I love a story. So, how did you all happen to even come together?
Well, I met Ray through Laurie.
Okay.
Yes, and I met Laurie through Jeannie that was here a while back. Jeannie came and did the show.
I got a condition to sleep like that.
You don't remember name?
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, I remember. Yeah, oh, okay, yeah.
Yes. But yeah, and I will absolutely say that was nothing but divine and spiritual meetings between all of us. I would not have ran into Dorlene or ran into Laurie. Just the spaces or places that we go, we've never crossed paths.
And y'all on the whole website together, and you didn't even know each other.
Yeah.
Well, I saw Ray before, because I'll get on the website and like look for other brown women and like look and read their about just to see what they're doing.
Right.
Because I'm new to Savannah, so I was like, oh, let me look. And so I've seen her before on the website, on the psychology website. Yeah.
Interesting. It's great. I was like, y'all on the same know the website existing. Like, I never worked with her before. I was like, my question was going to be, how did you all meet? You already said, like, wait a minute, you little hypnotherapist. Wait a minute, you've been trying to do this for a long time. You're not going to get me.
Oh, whatever.
You're not going to get me.
Before we go, because we have like 7 minutes, right? Before we go, I always ask guests, to imagine, sense, or feel, think about the idea that millions of people are listening to us on the radio, right? Millions, I tell you, millions.
How many people are in the world?
Millions.
Nothing. Are there at least billions?
At least billions.
Yeah. Okay, so billions that are listening. We're going to amp it up. The billions that are listening.
That are listening. I always ask that you kind of leave us with a thought, with something, if you're put on that platform and you want the world to know and to hear, what would that be?
You have one at the top of your head?
I think, because you asked that question, I think that changes from time to time, but right now, to be compassionate to yourself, because we cannot be for others, but we are not to ourselves.
Yeah.
And I see that a lot of people don't even know how they feel about certain things, And I just say, you know, and you said you have to be, in order to be there for somebody else, you have to be there for yourself. You have to recognize how you feel and attend to yourself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I wish for that.
I think mine is kind of be your light and speak your light.
Oh, yeah.
That I feel like part of what we're helping people to do is to be able to speak their light. The ones that come to us already, they have light.
Mm-hmm.
They find us.
Right.
And we need to speak it out in this time, and especially right now where things are so divisive and separate.
Mhm.
We need to be the light.
Oh yeah.
So I think it's speak the light. And
This one.
Yeah.
I just have to shout out this again because y'all don't even understand. This is rare because most of the time you're the only lady that's in the room. I just realized I'm the only guy that's in the room. But I was like, I'm surrounded by so much beauty and instantly. I'm like, yes.
I was about to say, you nervous?
No, I'm not nervous. Like,
you should be right at home.
I am. I was like, yeah. I was like, this is nice. I just really, I was like, yes, be the light. Yes, do what you need to do. As soon as she said, I was born an artist, I'm like, oh, this is great. Then I find out y'all was on the web. Then you on the whole website. It's like I was like, I need to set my game up. Somebody mumble mentality. We talking about going back. I was like, the room full of nights. I was like, let me sit up a little bit. I had to even sit up straight. You know, I'll be over here slouching. I'm like, let me sit up straight. This is great. Reminisce here. Like, you know, like you said, you went to church, but it's like really rare. And it's crazy. Savannah State, shout out SSU, even though I didn't go there, but shout out HBCUs. They have a whole social work department.
yes, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And after most of their people graduate, I don't hear anything for it, or they go work at DFAX, but I still don't hear anything from them or anything like that because I don't have those services I send. But it's like it's out here, and it's shocking to me. And I'm just put out since tomorrow's the first day of Black History Month.
Oh.
You know, we black every day of the year. We don't celebrate every day. But I was like, just to say, like, this is history right here. Like, this is crazy. I didn't even know this existed.
Yeah.
And I was like, she's a what? They have a what? Now I need to go back to school and get my master's. Remember? And I'm like, I need a what? So I get on the website. I'm like, well, dang, the only way I get on the website if I put myself on it.
Oh my gosh,
No.
don't just throw yourself on the, well, you know what, do what you got to do.
No, I won't.
Do what you got to do.
I won't probably be on that website, but you know, I need to be on some other websites like a social website. But it's great. You all keep up the good work that you all are doing. I'm gonna try to be at the event February 23rd. You know, my weekends are, but you know,
Is it just for women? Oh.
it's just for women.
Yeah.
Again.
Did we mention that?
Oh, we did not mention that. That
All right,
it
y'all have a great
was.
evening. Let me turn my Facebook feed off.
Whatever.
This is got- this is got
We need
real
you to
no.
click these buttons, sir.
No.
We need you to
Gave
click
y'all a whole
these
shout
buttons.
out. Gave y'all a whole shout out. And everything proud of y'all. Y'all just gonna say us for women. You know what? You know what? I enjoy it.
No, in all actuality, I would say, least protected group of people in the United States, and the people that feel the least power, people that absolutely want light shed on them and their light, an opportunity to shine, is women, black women, brown women, women of color. So this event was put together with them, us in mind, so that we can start looking at those areas that really affect us.
Okay.
That truly affect us.
That's what
Because it is absolutely a different conversation and a different.
What are the age ranges that can go?
We are adults,
Yes,
18
adult.
and older. Yeah.
Okay. Have y'all thought about doing something for you? How do y'all feel about going into schools? I work at school. I'm like, y'all need some help. But man, ain't got nothing at school. And I was like, there's only so much I can do.
Yeah.
I'm saying
Let's
straight up.
talk. Let's talk. You
Yeah.
know me, I'm always ready to collaborate and talk to some kids and hype them up about being awesome, you know, and I think that that's the same with these ladies. Laurie, Dorlene, thank y'all so much for coming out and doing this. This is not only just an opportunity for me to share you guys with my friends, but it's also an opportunity for y'all to see me and me sharing myself with you guys. This is something that I love to do. and it's really just a labor of love. So anytime you guys step into here, I always say that once you have been a guest on the show, you are part of the show. So if you are free on a Friday night and you have just the burning desire to come and run your mouth on the microphone, you have something you want to say, something you want to put out there, the invitation is always open for you to come in and for you to do so. I really appreciate this. I appreciate, the time and the energy and you coming out and sharing yourself and being real with us.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, absolutely. Anytime.
As they say in Mayberry, y'all come on back now. You hear?
Come on back. Let me hurry up and close out the show. This is WRUU LP, Savannah, Georgia. 107.5 FM, WRUU.org. We are Savannah Soundings Community Radio with Global Soul. Y'all have a wonderful Friday night. You just gonna say it again. Yay! Look at it.
You're right, it went by really fast.
Yeah, it goes by so
That
fast.
hour goes by like that. And we get to talking, and sometimes we forget to play the people commercials and all of that stuff. Excuse me?
Ma'am,
Wow.
is that the show that you was talking about? Oh, that's the brochure. I thought it was a show. So I'm not allowed to go. So why do I need a brochure?
Maybe another time we'll do females and men with hearts who lead from their hearts.
I don't even want to go no more. No, I don't even want to go no more.
Yeah, you do.
So this is actually for the workshop. I don't
It
know
is.
what else to do with this.
Yeah.
I just messing with you.
I got a 8.
That's it. You gonna sit there and just say that what we doing today?
This is what we doing. Let me get off a lot.
Exactly.
Bye, people.
I was gonna say this though. You look like your daughter. Your daughter look like you. She must did your hair. Or you taught her how to do that because that's something she would do.
Which one?
The oldest
The
one.
oldest one?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's the
Yeah, she did. She had to do
I didn't know
that.
that.
So shout out to
You
her.
had to-
Shout out to the youngest as well. Like, tell people to keep using that technology. If it wasn't for technology, you wouldn't be able to see your show. I was like, boom.
Did they know each other?
That's the one with all the mouth.
Hey.
Each other. Like not like
Bye,
friends, but if you
people.
daughter,
Thank
you don't
y'all
mind
for
them.
tuning in. We will.
That look good. I ain't know I look this good.
Oh my gosh. Bye. Wow.